Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Blue Öyster Cult? I'm sure I've heard that somewhere in my past. I was racking my brain trying to figure out where. I was almost certain that I was in my hometown of Manchester, New Hampshire, when I was in high school, probably one of my first 2 concerts. We have a venue there called the JFK Memorial Coliseum. It's basically a hockey rink. This is what it looked like when I was growing up. I was horrified when I did the image search that this beautiful facade that is so reminiscent of the 60s and 70s was plastered over, hopefully not destroyed, with a generic black front. It was just so ugly. Why destroy the character of that? I don't know. Maybe it was asbestos tiles. They were used all over the city. My high school had the same type of look, you know, the colored tiles. That was just the era. Anyway, I started searching. Of course, I don't have my ticket stubs anymore. I used to have all my concert ticket stubs. I left them in my parents' house. And when they sold the house, of course, they disappeared. So I've been slowly trying to piece together my concert history. And this concert and the one before it really were puzzling me. I was certain I saw him in Manchester. Well, I did a search. Over the years, I've searched a couple times, never found anything, but this time I did. I went into the concert archive database and I searched by venue. I typed in Manchester JFK Memorial Coliseum. And there it was, the 2 concerts I was looking for in the time periods I was looking for. 1974, Aerosmith, Get Your Wings Tour. That was my first concert. 2 years later, Blue Öyster Cult. I knew it. I just knew it. I mean, my memory is a little hazy, to be honest with you, from this time period. I was a freshman in high school when I saw Aerosmith, and I'm sure I was a little out of it, and so were my friends. But we loved Blue Öyster Cult. We were listening to the first 3 albums. 1976 would put it for the tour for this album, Secret Treaties. That was our favorite, but we loved the first 2 as well. We loved the dark, mysterious aura about Blue Öyster Cult. It was hard rock, but it was different. The lyrics were so bizarre and intriguing. The sound was great. They had an interesting sound that developed over time. A lot of people, I think, were brought to Blue Öyster Cult through this album and its monster hit, Don't Fear the Reaper. If you don't know this album, you definitely know that song. It's an FM radio staple. This is Agents of Fortune. This happens to be the Simply Vinyl edition. This is a great album. It's more polished and better sounding than the first 3. But, and it still has a lot of the trademarks of the mystery and the hard rock and a little bit of biker boogie, not as much as the earlier albums. But it definitely has the aura. It has the mysterious aura, and that's what we love about Blue Öyster Cult, the symbolism and the lyrics. Unfortunately, the lyrics aren't printed in these 2 records, but I decided to start replacing albums that were significant to me in my past. And I definitely wanted to have these. I saw originals over the years. They were always kind of beat up. I mean, the pressing quality wasn't great to begin with at that time period. So I was like, okay, Speaker's Corner has done these 2. Should I take it? I resisted for years. I thought the price was a little too high for this type of album. But as time wore on and I saw so many things go out of print, I was like, you know what? It's now or never. Get them now. And I'm so glad I did. The first one I'm going to talk about is this. So let's take a look at the hype sticker. It says, "This LP is an entirely analog production. Made from the original analog master tapes, only the best mastering studios worldwide, pure analog audiophile mastering, 180-gram virgin vinyl pressings from Palace, Germany, and faithful reproduction of the original artwork and labels." And that's all true. These were mastered at Emil Berliner Studios, who are famous for doing their Deutsche Grammophon reissues. So you know that this was carefully done from start to finish. Original master tapes. The Palace pressings are beautiful. The jackets are excellent. I still have them in shrink wrap, and I apologize about that. I'm going to show them in close-up, though. The first two albums were known as the black and white albums. As a matter of fact, this isn't the first time that those two albums have had an audiophile reissue. Mobile Fidelity actually did a 2-for gold CD of the first and second album. I used to have it. I no longer have it. But it did sound really good for the type of recordings these are, which are basic. But still, this is reproduced really well. It's a direct-to-board jacket. It's mostly black and white with some silver in this building, and the silver really pops out. Of course, there is the mysterious symbol that you'll see throughout these albums. The labels were reproduced really well. Columbia did something special for this band always. And for this record, they did a black label like this for the black side and a red label for the red side. It's separated into these two designations on the back jacket. I applaud Speaker's Corner for going to those lengths to get this exactly right. There's also an insert in here, which I'll show you, which gives you an idea of the lyrical type of content and thinking behind Blue Öyster Cult. And there's a photo of the band. I'll show you all this in close-up. There's also, of course, a advertising brochure in here. I won't go through it this time, but when you look at this, you're like, oh, I should have acted on some of these Speaker Corner reissues. Well, the good news is, even without comparisons to originals, these exceeded my expectations sound-wise. They're very, straight-ahead rock recordings with occasional flourishes and of course, immense creativity. This one plays like an adrenaline-fueled rush, an amphetamine rush. It opens with the red and the black, and that is a great opening number for them. I think I heard them play that in concert as well. Just incredible. You're going to laugh at some of these titles, but, OD'd at life, on life itself, Hot Rails to Hell, 7 Screaming Dizbusters fill out the first side with a lot of power and energy. I would say they concentrated those type of songs on the first side. The second side is called The Red, and it has one of my favorite tracks called Baby Ice Dog. Really creative, different, not so manic, a little more mysterious. Same thing with Wings Wetted Down, Teen Archer, and the closing track, and I love this title, Mistress of the Salmon Salt. Yeah, they were awesome. The band at this time consisted of Buck Dharma on guitar and vocals, Eric Bloom on vocal and stun guitar and all synthesizers, the Bouchard brothers on bass and vocals, some keyboards, and drums and vocals, Alan Lanier on keyboards and rhythm guitar. Wonderful, wonderful record. Really a pleasure rush hearing this again. And I didn't cringe. I loved every minute of it. It brought back a flood of memories, and they were all good. And the pressing was immaculate. Really, I was so pleased. $40 is a lot of money, and I didn't want to waste my money, and I don't feel like I wasted my money with these. As a matter of fact, I'm glad I got them because who knows how long they're going to be around. My friends and I at the time all thought that this was a superior album to the first two. I think still that it's their most accomplished album before they went into a slightly more commercial direction. Of course, the next one's great, Agents of Fortune, but Secret Treaties is a wonderful record. Much more inventive than the first two, still has the elements that we love about Blue Öyster Cult. bizarre, cryptic lyrics, powerful rock, some atmospheric touches all throughout, a little bit of that biker boogie kind of sound, but really dark and heavy. And that's what I love about this one. Not heavy and dark like a Black Sabbath album. It's much different than that. It's definitely a little more fun and ironic kind of way. You know, just you have to hear it. But on this record, we have Career of Evil, Dominance and Submission, ME262, KG Cretans, Harvester of Eyes, Flaming Telepaths, and Astronomy. And I love every track on it, particularly the opening track, Career of Evil. If that was the only track on the album, I'd be really happy. They could have made that a 12-inch single and I would have been happy. But it's not. The reproduction is excellent. The original jacket had a texture to it. This one does not. It's smooth. But beyond that, everything looks great. There is an insert, as there was on the original. No, there's the advertising insert. The insert is color artwork by the same artist that did the front cover. So that's very, very nice to have. And it's really well done on a heavy cardstock. The labels are custom. And they are like that. Black and red with the symbol. Really cool. Columbia all the way around the edge. Yeah, these were special albums. And I think, you know, if you've only ever really heard Don't Fear the Reaper, take a stab at this. I think you will love Secret Treaties. And if you go back further, you'll be treated to more interesting rock. Well produced, well mastered, well recorded. This one is a keeper for sure, but so is Tyranny Mutation. I love both. I'm so glad to add them to the collection, and now I have 3 of my favorite Blue Öyster Cult albums from the past. I'll be on the hunt for the first one. I wish Speaker's Corner would have done it, but they declined on that one for some reason. Let me know what you think about Blue Öyster Cult. Are you part of the cult? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, I'm Scott for The Pressing Matters. Have a great day.